Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is some functional security with OE linear cuts. So in Sasso, I'm going to use my operator. So the screens we need access to, there is a new one called OEEM, which is our linear cut maintenance screen. We also have ICSECC, which is a big one, and that is extended product cut container, which we'll cover toward the end. And then if you definitely need ICSP in your ICSW, and then there is a functionality that we can use for replenishment that uses an event. And then there's only two things that require activation to use OE linear cuts. The first one is you have to deem a product as an OE linear cut product in ICSP. And the second one is it has to be lock controlled. So first we're going to look at our product in ICSP. I have a green pipe here. So we have this tab called Cut. In this tab, there's two different areas here. There is a cut dimension definition, and there is a cut container. We're going to talk about containers toward the end as well. Right now, we're going to talk about our cut type. So there's three different cut types, actually four if you count no cut. RF linear cut works through your RF units. The dimensional cut is what the value add uses. So that does a length times a width. We are doing what's called OE linear cut. So that gives you the length, just not the width. When we click on OE linear cut, we get our little box here that pops up and we get a wire diameter. If this is a wire, we can put our wire diameter here, and this will help when we get into the containers and how those can fit and how we figure all that out. So right now we're going to leave this one blank because this is pipe, not wire. So we have two different lengths we can use. We can use it as one part, as an integer or a decimal, and then we get to choose our unit, or we can use two parts. I'm going to set mine up here as a two-part, both integers. So my first part is a foot, my second part is going to be an inch. And then there's 12 inches, so there's 12 of these units in this unit. And so that way, if we have anything that is cut feet and then we have inches, we have that ability to use inches, and we can ignore it if we want to. If we only have everything in feet, we can just do it in feet, but we have that added option to do inches. I'm going to go ahead here and hit save. Now you can use these linear cuts with a BOD kit. So if you have a BOD kit, you can use that here. And then you can use it with KPSC or the CPQ configure kit. If anybody uses that, it can be used in there as well. So you can have products in your BOD kit that are configured with the cut type using the lock control. So now we're going to go to ICSW, and we are going to make sure our product is set to lock controlled. Here's my product. We're going to be working in just this warehouse. And so in the General tab, under the General section, there is a box called Lot. It's called Control. And this is where we do our serial or our lot. So I have this set to lot. So now we are ready to go. The first thing we're going to do is we have no product, so we're going to need to bring product in to our warehouse. So I am going to create a purchase order for my product I just set up. I'm going to do it in advanced search, or sorry, advanced entry. Now we buy this in 100 feet because I need 100 feet to put on my shelf for my min and max, whatever reason. I don't leave it as 100 feet, and I might get it. The customer either sends it to me in 20s, 50s, one piece of 100. However your vendor sends it to you, it doesn't matter. We just want the overall quantity for what they are sending you. And then I'm going to hit add. And then actually I am going to put a price on here just because I didn't set this up very well, just so we have something. Okay, now we have our purchase order created, and we can go ahead and receive our purchase order. So we're going to go to purchase order receipt, POEI, for those of you that need the acronym. I am an acronym person. We're going to go to quick receive. Our MRU will have our PO we just created, and I'm going to go into detail. Open my journal. And here I have my line, so I'm going to put in my 100 here. And then when I check the box here, or if I scroll over, there should be a column that says lot. So anytime that this is a serial or lot controlled product, it will tell you in this field right here. And then if you check the box for the product, it opens up so you can do quick view, or you can just drill in is what I usually like to do. And then we need to go to our lots section here on the bottom. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. We can set up a new one. You can do auto assign. If anybody has auto assign lots set up in AO, you can use auto assign. We're just going to put in some new ones here. So we're going to say new. We're going to say lot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to get real technical here. And let's say our vendor sent us 5 20 feet pieces of pipe. So we're going to do 5. We can skip the expiration date. We have a few of these options, country of origins becoming big right now. Quantity available if we need to put any in unavailable in case we need to do something with it before it gets put on our shelf. And then we have the options of bin locations here. So I'm just going to put in my lot and my quantity and hit OK. Now I have my lot down here, and now I need to do my dimensional cuts. So if we save, oops, nope. I apologize. Sometimes this is very quirky yet to me because it is very new. So if we check the box, there's our cut that pops up. So uncheck it, check it. So now that we have the lot entered, we have to cut it. So we have a lot with quantity of 5, and we're going to cut it. So we have 5 pieces, condition code. So what we can do is set up an SASTT condition code. And so what I've done here is put in conditions. So let's say we have something that's big and we always want to look at it before we receive it in, or if it needs to go to some sort of inspection. We have a condition we can choose. So I'm going to say this one is in great condition. I have 5 pieces. Actually, I have 1 piece 5 times. And each one is going to be 20 feet, no inches. So we don't have to do that. If we want to do 1 piece at 20, we can do another piece at 50, another piece at 30, just any different way you want to put it in here. If your vendor sends it to you and 2 10-foots, 2 20s, a couple of 5s, you can certainly enter that all in here. If they send you 1 100 piece, and you want to enter it in that way to start, you can do that as well, because we're going to get into some cut maintenance type stuff after as well. Number of pieces, 5. See, I love doing this. Cancel. Ah! The guy makes it look so easy when I watch these training videos too with Infor, and then we go to do it and we have some problems. So the idea is we're going to have a bunch of pieces that have a different quantity with a different length. So let's see, let's just receive it as our 100. Well, I can't do anything here. Hold on. Oh, I apologize. Here we go. Okay, our quantity is our feet, 100 feet. So our 100 feet, we have 5 pieces that are 20 pieces that are 20 feet each. So here's the piece where we can split it up if we have 4 that are 10 and 1 that's 20 and different sizes, we do it here. So our quantity here is going to be our quantity that we're receiving. Okay. So here is our different lengths. So now we have these different lots with our different lengths. So it's all in the same lot because it was one piece that came in 5 20-foot lengths. So now we're going to hit OK. And now we're going to submit because we are all done receiving. And we're going to final update. And we're going to go back. And I probably did not hit the save button correctly because that's usually what we do. Save. I promise this is easier than it looks how I'm doing it. There is our 100. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is great. This is great. So what they're saying is, so it's looking for this assigned, and it looks like it is. Let's do something here. Huh. We have 100 pieces, 100 lots. There's our lot. There's our quantity. There is our cuts. We are assigned. So everything looks good on my end. I'm not sure what it's doing here. I have my cuts. I got my 100 quantity. I have my different lots with my pieces. Everything looks great. What we can do here, let's do this. If we cancel our receive work, we're going to go back in. We're going to do our quantity received 100. And we're going to drill in and we're going to start over. There we go. So we're going to do new. We're going to do lot. 100 feet. Nothing else needs to be done for me. We check the box, do our cuts. One piece. We can do it this way. Boom. So really, we're not cutting it at this piece. We're going to say okay. We're going to submit. We're going to final update. And there is definitely something wrong here. I apologize. This worked perfect earlier. Let's try our save button here. Yep. Oh, serious. Okay, so we can move on. So once we receive our product into our warehouse, we have the ability now to use it and see it in our lot setup screen in our purchase order and then our ICIPs, and then we can use it in our transfers or our OEs, which is really awesome. We have that visibility to be able to see what's going on with this product when it's cut, right? Because a lot of times if your customer calls and they're like, we need a 50-foot length, you can have 200 feet in your warehouse, but none of them equal a 50-foot length. And in the past, what you'd have to do is you'd have to call the warehouse or go out there and kind of look to see what you have set up. Now you have that visibility with the lots. So users can go into ICIP, look at the lots and say, oh, wow, I have two 50-foot pieces and the rest I have that are smaller. Or you have bigger than 50-foot pieces that you can cut down, which is even better. I really like that feature of it because I think that was the hardest part, was for everybody to kind of find out, what they were doing. So one more time, we're going to give this a try. Dimensional cuts, it's assigned. Has anybody on the call used this in the past or have started using this year and been successful with it and can point out my flaws? That would be great.
I'm watching the chat for you, Tina.
It always happens when you do it. When you do it to test everything, it works great. And then when you do it in live, it just never works out for you. I think that's how it always goes. So let's try something here. So if we back out, so we know that this is a lot controlled product. So let's try if we already have some in stock and we change it to OE linear cut. So I'm going to take it off linear cut for a minute. I'm going to go back into my purchase order. We're going to do detail because it's still a lot controlled product. So we still have to get it lot controlled. Let's do our 100 here. We drill in to find our lot. So now we're going to hit new. We're going to hit OK. And now when we click on this, do you see there's no cut here? So a cut will only show up if you have that ICSP set off of no cut or to OE linear cut. Let's see here. We hit save. We hit OK. Hopefully I don't have the same issue. I am having the same issue. I bet I didn't hit save. Okay. save. There we go. Takes us back out. So that actually worked well. Submit. Final update. And we're going to print it. So now we have a purchase order with a lot, but no cuts. So if we go to ICIP, we put in our product in our warehouse. And then here's our little, so we're on the general tab, product inquiry, and then it's right next to our balances. We can see our lot here. Now, when we do have cut, we will be able to see that here. So this is where you're going to be able to go in and see all the awesome stuff I've been talking about. So the next thing we can do is, let's say we get those pieces in and we want to cut them. So let's change our product setup back to OE linear cut, and let's see what it does for us. So this would come in handy if, let's say, you want to start using this and we got cuts here. It kept what we had. We're going to hit save. And so we want to now cut that. We have a 100-foot piece that we really don't like to sell more than 20 feet in length because of shipping, or maybe we want to cut them all into 5 because that's truly how we sell it.
Tina,
So,
you saved that with RF linear cuts. Does that matter?
oh,
You want OE linear, I think.
thank you. I do. There we go. And again, it opens up that wire diameter, but I'm a pipe, so I'm gonna leave it as is. Perfect. So now we have a new screen called OEEM Linear Cut Maintenance. So here is where we can go in and do some maintenance on our stuff. So we have a couple different things. So right now you can see we are in cut maintenance. Over here, we can flip over to update maintenance. So what cut maintenance does is, if you have an order that you want to look and see, like, let's say a good example is, if you have an order for 100 feet of something and the only pieces you have are 200 feet, you're actually going to put on that lot and allocate the 200. So you're going to proof out to a negative amount. And then what happens is, you're going to come in here and you're going to find your order and you're going to cut that lot. To allocate it, only that amount you need for your order. So I'm actually going to put my product in here. We're going to do it by warehouse or product. It opens up a journal in case we have to, change anything, do any GL hits. There is limitations in here we will talk about as well. So if we drill into an order and we come in here, we can allocate lots. This is not really a cut item, but we can do that in here. So if we want to go through and see everything that we need to cut for our warehouse, let's say we have a bunch of orders that need to be cut, they'll show up here. If we want to go look for a specific order because we know we just entered it and it needs to be cut, we're going to go do that here as well. Or we can do it by product. Now, update mode is where we're going to put in our warehouse and our product. And then here is our lot. So we don't have any cuts here. If we check the box, usually we're going to see 3 things. And so since we did not save this as that, it didn't quite work out how we wanted. So we're going to try it one more time. Let's get rid of this on hand. So I like the new functionality with count when we do ICEPA. We're going to open up our journal. And now we're going to assign our lot. So don't forget, when you do stock adjustments too, this also works with ICEPA. So you are going to see those cuts in those lots down here. Proof is 0. adjust 100. I don't think lots like me today. I think that's half the problem. Oh, whoops, sorry guys. There it is. That gets me every time. I do not understand sometimes why these columns are so far back. There we go, save. We're gonna count 0. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do 100. We're gonna say save. Oh, see, this gets me every time too. There we go, apologize. Oh, okay, so now we have everything out. We're gonna, one more time, we're gonna put in a purchase order to see if we can receive this bad boy so I can show you how to do your linear cut maintenance. We're gonna close our journal. We're going to go to POET. We're gonna do our vendor and our warehouse. Next. Where we wanna do our advanced. Let's just do 10 this time. We'll make it easier on ourselves. Add. Let's do my price just so we don't get any issues.
I saw your warning. Price is 0. Is this
I
a free
know.
product?
It's not. I could have changed it and thing, but that's fine too. So that should be our purchase order. Detail opens our journal. Okay, here's our product. We got 10. We drill into it because that's how we get to our lot screen. Okay, so we're gonna add a new lot. For 10. And we're gonna say okay. We're gonna save. Now we're gonna assign our cut pieces. So once we check that box, you can see we have cuts. And we have one piece. We're gonna say condition great, and it's 10 feet. And then we hit okay. We're gonna hit every save button there is. There we go. So now this should work. Submit. Final update. There we go. It's those darn save buttons, they'll get you every time. So now we can go back to our OE maintenance. And we're going to go to update because we don't really have anything on an order to cut. We just kind of want to see this product. There we go. So here is our inactive one. So that is the one that we stock adjusted out a little bit ago because when we received it, we didn't receive it as the OE linear cut. So now I can drill into this. And then when I click here, I have a couple of options here. I have split, adjust, scrap, or move. So there's rules to each one of these as what you can do. So adjust, you can do negative feet, which opens up a journal. You actually do a stock adjustment. So for example, let's say you have if you have something that is in a foot that doesn't really isn't usable anymore, let's say you have a foot left over or 6 inches, you can come in here and adjust that out and it will do a stock adjustment type deal. There's also split. If you click on the split, you can split this length into a couple of different feet. So let's say I want 5 feet. Now I have 2 5-foot lengths available for my lots. Now let's say we can scrap one, we can move one. So the move deal. So this is kind of what I was looking at. I'm like, what would we use a move functionality for? Because it's kind of an odd deal, right? Like, why would you want to move a lot number? So two different reasons I came up with. One is you accidentally received it into the wrong lot, which is super easy to do. Or let's say that you like to move lot pieces between warehouses or inspection that has a different lot number. So let's say I want my lot numbers. I'm going to always start them off with like a 1 because I know that those have not been inspected yet. So if I'm a user and I go into, or I'm a CSR and I go into ICIP, I can look at my lots. Well, lot 1, I know that one should not be used because it hasn't been inspected. So once we get it inspected or we get it cut, we move it into our lots that begins with maybe a letter or a number or some sort of designation that it's ready to be sold. So, oops, not this one. So we can move them. You can actually move them into old lots. So that's really what people would do is they would say, okay, let's move it into a lot that's good. Let's move it into a lot that, that is usable now for our customers. So the statuses will all be here. It'll tell you what's available, what's been moved, some sort of inventory adjustment, or anything like that. You can see this one is in status moved. This one is in available. So if we want to do anything moved here, we can do that as well. Let me go back. And this is going to be really handy. So any of you that like to receive, like I said, 100 feet into your warehouse, you really need to cut it before it can be sold. I would receive it in as 100 feet. Come to your linear cut maintenance once you get it ready, or maybe it has to go to a different section of your warehouse that actually does the cutting, right? So the person that cuts is the different person then receives. So really the receipt or receiver person is just putting in what actually was sent to you. And then from there, they can do their linear cut maintenance and cut them down to the pieces you want, or you can use the cut and just go find your orders. So again, for an order, you would over allocate it and then go into your cut maintenance. So let's go ahead and create an order for this product just so I can kind of show you how it goes through. Uh, How do I keep making the same numbers every time? Okay, so I'm going to put in my product. So I have a couple of options here. Oops, I did the wrong warehouse. Okay, we have a couple of options here. So you can see we have availability at 10 here. We have our lots came up. So if we go ahead and we click on that, we can assign our lots in order entry, or we can assign it in shipping feedback. So either way, it has no difference. It's just the way that you do your warehousing and your lot controlled assignment to your orders. So like I said, we can do it here, or we can do it in shipping feedback. We can see our quantity availables here. So let's say we just need a quantity of 1. So we're going to go in here and we're going to say, I want a quantity of 1, so I'm going to assign this lot. So I'm going to hit save. No. Let's go back into my lots. One more time. This one. So my quantity available is 5. even though I only need one, it should be over allocating. So let's do save. Must be assigned. So now we come down here and we say we want 1 foot. So we have to assign that as well. We're going to hit save one more time. So now if we go back into this lot, we can see that we are over allocated for 4 feet. It's perfectly fine. This is how it's going to look. Until you go make that cut in your linear cut maintenance, this is perfectly fine. So this is going to happen when you're in order entry or shipping feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and hit add, and I'm going to hit finish. I'm going to note my order number ends in terrible number, but that's okay. We're going to put it in here, and we're going to hit search. So here is our order. Our cut pieces needed is 1. Total length needed, reserved cuts, reserved length, because it is reserving that entire 5-foot length right now, even though you only need 1 piece of it. So here we're going to apply cuts. 1 foot length. Cut and apply. Required length 1. Cut length 1. Hit OK. Save. And update. Boom. So now when we do search, we can still see our product here. So we have 4 and 5. We have 4 because we have 10 on hand and one of them is actually allocated to our order. So we have 9 that are available. So again, if we want to go back into shipping feedback, we can do that in there as well. This works with transfers. So if you want to create a transfer, you can do that as well. You choose the lots and the amount you want to transfer out when you're in shipping feedback. So when you are in WTES is where you assign your lots and your cut products, just as you normally would in the order, just like we just saw. And so really that's the whole process from start to finish for the phase 1. The phase 2 that they rolled out was TWL. This is now available in TWL. So you can do the receipt and the receiving of the purchase orders and allocate your cuts all through the RF guns through TWL, as well as the lot assignments. The next phase was called cut replenishment. So cut replenishment is designed to help you know when you need to replenish a cut wire product. So if we go to ICSW and we look up our product and we go in here and we go on the general tab in the ARP path, you can see we have a cut replenishment length here. So let's say if we get anything down to 2 feet, right, it's unusable. So basically we can't sell this anymore because it's a 2-foot length. So we want to be notified that it has been down to a 2 feet length, so we can either scrap it out or stock adjustment. You could do it either way. You can go to the stock adjustment or you can do the adjust in the OEEM, which is our linear cut maintenance. We have the ability to hit the RAR. So let's say we want to also email. So anytime this product goes below 2, we want it to email us. So we can put in an email address here. Or we can set it to view. If we want to leave it to blank, we can also do that. So let's say we don't want to be notified that it's hitting the RAR or anything like that because we have a different process that we're using to scrap out those products, but we still want to be notified. So as long as we have our cut replenishment length, we can go to Event Manager. They have created a new event that is called Cut Min Length, and the trigger is Cut Length Action. So in here, this says, this event will inform you when the length of an OE linear cut piece has gone below the value specified in ICSW. So when we go back to our warehouse product setup, so anytime it goes below here, it's going to send us an event, right? So we have to go through and we have to set up our actions and go through here in our ranges and our filters and then our general information on who we want to receive the action. So this says anytime it falls below, we're going to email somebody or we're going to send some sort of ION alert or anything like that. It can go to purchasing. It can go to your warehouse that says, hey, this is actually hitting an event that says you have pieces in your warehouse for this product that are below a sellable quantity. I really like that piece too. That way you can keep an eye on that stuff that you need to scrap out if it's not going to be sold at all. Okay, we have a few more minutes, so I'm going to talk about the last piece, and that is containers. Containers is a method to indicate that a product is a cut wire container. So it allows entry for dimensions, capacity, and which containers are best to be used with a cut wire product. So this is only used for a cut wire product. It also will present you with a list of preferred containers, which is awesome. So you can set up containers that go with your product. So we're going to go back to our product setup in ICSP. I have a product here. We're going to call it let's see, our medium wood spool. So we go back over to our cut, and that's where we're going to talk about our container. So our container here, if we open it up, we have a non-container, a spool, or a box. So we're going to choose our spool, and we can do our barrel diameter, our traverse diameter, and our container factor. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to show you our small wood one. I think this one is empty. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and choose spool here and see all this stuff is blank except for this adjustment factor. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So our barrel diameter is 5, our rail traverse is 10. I'm just kind of making up numbers here. Our flange length is 0.25 and our unusable flange length is 0.1. So this gives us an adjustment factor or a container factor of 2.02. So 2 feet will fit on whatever our container here is. So if we want to go up, and we can see that now we can have a container factor of 23. Now let's say we can put in our wire diameter. So our wire diameter is 0.25. So this is kind of a work pad. We don't really set it up. We just want to see what our capacity is if we have a wire that's 0.25 in diameter. Let's say we have wire that's 0.1. Well, this one I can get 2,300 feet because I have a container factor of 23. Now let me show you something here. I have a little cheat sheet here on what Infor provided on how they did this calculation. So flange length, unusable flange portion, barrel diameter, and real traverse. And so what that gives us is a calculation, the spool calculation. So here's our container factor, barrel diameter, flange length, unusable portions, and real traverse. And so this is kind of like what is standard. So this times 0.262 is just a standard number. Infor gave you the ability to change it if you do not agree with it. So you can have that change if you want to. The same for the box. So the box, you get the length, the width, and the height, and you also get an adjustment factor, and then you can put in the wire diameter here. I don't know how many of us use boxes to put our wire on, but that's what we can use that for. There is another calculation as well that does the same thing as the reel and how they consider the box. So it's kind of neat how they did that. It is limited to spools, reels, and boxes. Anytime you are setting up a product that is wire and you want to assign some sort of container into it, make sure you have that wire diameter set. If not, it can't configure it. So make sure that is set. We have one more here. We're going to go to ICSEC. This is our other new screen, Extended Product Cut Containers. So this is where we assign our products to our containers. So here we go. We have our wire, and I assigned these containers to my wire. I did this. So the default's in as blank, and I'm going to say I can use all these containers. It doesn't matter which ones I use, but if I'm going to sell 10 feet of wire, I don't want to put it on a big spool because it's not cost effective to me. So I can reassign priorities. So they are assigned priorities. See here, 1, 2, 3. If I want to reassign them, I can do that. So let's say I have 2 spools. One is plastic, one's wood. One's cheaper, one's more expensive. One maybe you can have readily more available, and the other one not. You can change the priority for them. So one can be priority 1, one can be priority 2. So you have that ability to do that. And then you can move them down. Boom. And there you go. And then hit OK. If you want to copy, so let's say I don't want to sit here and do this for every single product, I can copy. So I can do it from this product, and we're going to put it onto my new product here, and I'm going to hit OK. So now when I come in here to my newer product, my containers are here. But let's say I really don't want to put this one in a box, just because that's not quite how we roll. We can go ahead and delete it. So now I have my containers all set up, assigned to my wire. I'm going to throw them onto a order. Here's my wire. I'm going to say I want 10. Why do I have a feeling this one is set up to, we're going to grab my wire instead, or my pipe, even though it's supposed to be wire, we don't really care right now. Okay, so here my lot is here. We can grab our lots. If we don't have any on hand, maybe we're not quite ready to do that. We can go back, and now I'm going to hit add. When I hit add, it opens up the screen with my suggested containers. So depending on what I have, it's supposed to be showing the list of containers here, and then you get to choose one. I'm not sure why they aren't showing up. And then you hit submit, and it'll actually assign that to your order. So it'll say the order here, or the product here, and then it'll have the wire here. Oh, I bet I know. Because this is not a wire, which we don't really care that it's not. Yep, right there. So notice I didn't have my wire diameter set up. It wasn't able to calculate. So we go back in here. Let's add it again. And let's hit add. There we go. So now, if you can remember in ICSECC, I deleted one of the containers, so I have them both. So this shows me my net available for this warehouse, my priority, and which one it suggests to use. Based on the size, the capacity, and everything else, all that calculations that it does, this is the one it says. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. And I'm going to hit submit. And so there we go. So now I have my product and my small wood spool. This works the same way in kits, BOD kits, as well if you are using the CP configuration set up for kits. And it's pretty awesome. Finish. Kind of went fast in the end. I was trying to hurry up and finish there for the end so we can get any questions needed. Again, I apologize for the not being able to log on right away. I did have to shut my computer down and come back in. And again, this is a very easy process. I am new to it. We are all new to it. We don't have any customers that I know that are using it. We have a lot that want to use it. And so this is kind of why we did that webinar, and we're kind of learning how it works with the lock controlled and the wire and that kind of stuff. So we're getting there.
Right. They rolled this out in phases too, Tina. It was
Phases.
on
Yep.
multiple releases. So each release, they were adding some new features. So we're all catching up here.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yep. So if you do have a need, you have a reason for using linear cuts or cut wire, and you'd like to work with Tina to help you practice and set it up and see what how you might use this in your training environment first would probably be best, so that you see how it works and how you would keep track of your cuts and so forth. But we're happy to work with you if you have a need for it. Just put in a service ticket at support@centraldata.com, and we'll get Tina to help you with it. But thank you for attending today. I'm sorry we had a little bit of technical glitches there, but
Always me,
next,
Julie. It's always me.
well, it's also a snowstorm day. We will chalk it up to that and have some hot chocolate in this while we have a ice storm here.
That's right.
Next month on March 15th, remember Grant Howard will be joining us for our webinar on ICAMU exceptions. So we look forward to seeing you then. And I will send out the recording, and thank you again for joining. Thanks, Tina. That was a lot of information you had to go through there.
Thank you. Yes, there is a lot of information.
Okay, thanks everybody. Have a good day.
You too.